What is going on, Fightful Faithful? Welcome back here again to Fightful Scraps, where today we are sitting down with OTT's Liamo for a very special interview. How are you doing today, Liamo?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for having me on. And yeah, looking forward to getting into it because it's a exciting time for OTT and myself. So,
And just we'll start from the beginning with your training and so on, and obviously with the way Ireland is now with School of Irish Wrestling and so on and so forth with Fight Factory and all. There's a lot of avenues in Irish wrestling to get training in this country now. What has that been like for you to kind of get trained in this country, and who has been your biggest inspiration in that regard?
yeah, Corey. So I started training back in 2017 now. So nearly coming up on 10 years soon enough. Doesn't feel like that obviously with COVID, but we're so fortunate to have such a great scene. And I didn't really understand the Irish wrestling scene until I really joined it. How like the access we have to training over here is just it's second to none. And we're lucky enough to have two very good schools in Dublin. I know obviously Hard Knocks has one on the other side of the country, and we have a few up north, but the two in Dublin are particularly good. Obviously, I train out of the School of Irish Wrestling, run by Joe Bray, and you have the likes of Paddy Morrow, Session Moth Martina, Sammy D, taking trainings down there regularly and passing on years of experience. And I'm lucky to learn under the likes of them, but not only them, but Paul Tracy, LJ Cleary, and even JD McDonough over the years have been down giving advice to young people coming up like myself. And yeah, I'm able to take that on now and pass it on to the next generation who are coming up just starting out. So it's it's kind of a good atmosphere we have going on now. Some new people coming in. Just had an open day on Saturday, free for anyone to join. We got a couple of new lads down, and it's good to see. I myself have been in it now, as I said, 8 years. So I feel like I can give back now and like help some people coming up as well. But yeah, anyone who's thinking about coming down, I'd more than encourage them, because even if you don't want to make it as a wrestler, just come down. If you have a passion, it's a lot of fun, and I'd recommend anyone getting down to the School of Irish Wrestling if they can.
And throughout your career, you've kind of developed this character along with Lads of the Flats, and I just kind of want to know, is that an extension of who you are outside of the ring as well, or is it something that kind of you concocted out of just creativity?
Yeah, no, it's something. It's kind of just came about like naturally. To be honest, I feel like it's just an extension of who I am. Growing up, around, people like that, people like myself in gimmick, and I was able to just translate that well into wrestling, because I feel like there's not a lot of people in wrestling that are like that. So I think it worked out well for me. That it was something different. And when I was trying to, pitching this idea to Joe, it just so happened that he's put two and two together and decided to put me with Paddy Morrow. And that was the best thing that could have happened, because being under the likes of Paddy Morrow it's a learning tree. And I just tried to soak up everything I could with him. And over the years, I've developed it, I feel like, and changed it into my own thing. Starting out with just like, as just a basic lad from the flat. But now I feel like I've made, Liamo into its own thing. And that's something I'm trying to bring now to the next level. So.
And you mentioned earlier when you were talking about School of Irish Wrestling, Session Moth Martina has been someone that you've been tied with for quite a while in wrestling. And as you mentioned, she is someone who has been around for quite some time in the Irish scene. Definitely one of the top names of the scene. What has that been like to learn from her and work with her and have these moments like you just had at ScrapperMania?
Yeah, 100%. Like, she's someone that I consider very close to me, and she helped me from day one when I started. Got along well straight away, and yeah, it's just great to see someone like that who's taken an Irish gimmick like that and brought it to Japan, the US, UK, been everywhere with it. So she's a great inspiration for myself to, people might be like, oh, you can't bring that gimmick elsewhere. It's just a Dublin thing. But seeing what she's done with the Lads on the Flats type of gimmick and brought it over to the US and everywhere, it's just inspiration for me to take that to the next level as well. So being able to be involved with things with her, it elevates myself because of her name, and she's able to pass on experience all the time. And I work with her a lot in private sessions and stuff, and she has a great mind for the business, and I really like working with her.
And I do want to just talk about ScrapperMania as well, because that was a big moment for you, big moment for Lads from the Flats. That 6-man tag, like the crowd was just electric for the whole lot of it, building up. Obviously, Martina's moment, and it was just big. But obviously, yourself had just the crowd in the palm of your hand from the moment you came out. And what was that like for you to have like just 2,000 people in the National Stadium just going absolutely mental?
It's hard to put into words, Corey, to be honest, but like I'm someone who had to work my way up from the very start, and seeing the Lads in the Flats in matches like this over the years, and to think now like I'm a part of that, it means a lot to me. And like to have all 5 of us there for the very first time in the ring, I thought it's a moment that I can look back on forever. It's not. We haven't had the likes of Martin and Worky around over the past few years, but they just fit right back in, and it was like they never left in the first place. So that moment at the end where we got all 5 of us in the ring, as I said, it was very special, and the crowd were just crazy throughout. It was just, I had a feeling like going out there first, it was just going to be like the match that we had. It was going to be a great way to open the show because we had so many moments in there. Foxy going absolutely mad. The crowd went crazy for that. And then obviously we had the Boxer Stomper, turned out to be Martina. She came out, done her thing. And yeah, like, to be honest, it's probably my favourite match I've had to date. Just because of the absolute, like, the madness going on and the crowd make it, anytime I go out in that National Stadium, the crowd they just make the match. So.
And while you're talking about the National Stadium, I do want to go back to last year's anniversary show. You were involved in a 5-way match, and you were in there with 4 of the probably biggest names, 4 of the possible biggest names in the British scene. Robbie X, Luke Jacobs, who just won, who's the Rev Pro and Progress champion now, man like the Reese, Mark Hoskins. What was that like? What was that match like? Because you were very much the hometown lad. You were the only Irish lad in that match. Obviously, everyone was familiar with the rest, but you were the hometown favorite. What was that like to work with those lads in that match and be the Irishman in that match?
Yeah, as I said, unfortunate enough to go out there 3 times now in the National Stadium. Every time I've gone out, I felt like it's been great. And that match, I felt like was a big step up for me because it was my first time being on the stadium by myself. I'd been there with Paddy, but it didn't feel the same to where the work I had to put in then to get to that point by myself and go out there with them lads. It was like, it's going to sink or swim. You're going out there with some of the best in Europe, and I felt like I held my own. And leading up to the next year's anniversary, coming up now in 9 weeks' time, hopefully I can showcase something similar. I don't get a lot of opportunities to, go out there with people like that. There's very few and far between opportunities where you get like them 4 lads, Haskins, Luke Jacobs, Robbie X, and man like the Reese. These big shows and this big show coming up, it's opportunities to bring in lads like that, and myself and all the other Irish lads get opportunities to go against these. But I felt like till the ScrapperMania match, that was probably my favourite match I had. Them two, I look back on fondly. But yeah, being out there with Haskins, it's someone I've watched from the early days of OTT, former champion. he's just been in a multi-man since like his whole career, so he knows exactly what he's doing. And it was a real eye-opening experience on going out there with him and just how everything works, how he just got that whole match together. Because we're the opener as well, so
Yeah.
back-to-back openers now. Going out there again, the crowd were hot for everything. Just it felt like the match was just going and going and going. Any match with Robbie X is going to be 90 mile an hour. So getting thrown into that I felt like was a big step up, and I'm looking forward to doing more stuff like that, because obviously the match I had there at the lads was a bit of a different style, but I'd love to mix it up with more lads like that and show what I can do in that sense.
When you say in that sense, do you mean more as just a singles act, kind of building up your rep as a singles competitor? Because you've kind of
Yeah,
been fluctuating between singles, lads from the flats, teaming with Martina for a couple of
yeah,
years now. So
yeah. Just in the sense of like that style, it's like it's a fast paced style that's very high flying, and it never really stops. You don't have a moment really to stop thinking. I like going out there and just being able to showcase everything. Whereas the match there with the lads, it's a different type of match. It's obviously a 6-man, so you're kind of. I was there waiting to come in. Didn't get into the end. Bang, um, came in fiery and tried to show what I could do. But like that's the thing, you have to be versatile, and I feel like it's something I can do well. Is whatever I'm asked to do, I feel I can do it. Because as I said previous, I started with Paddy in the tag team, and then when he retired, it was like, right, now it's time for me to step up and make it on my own. And I had to take a step back and kind of look myself in the mirror and said, am I good enough to be by myself? So it took a while then to like get to that level. So now I don't really worry. I feel like I can do tag teams, singles. So I'm not actually sure what I'm going to be doing coming up, but whatever it is, I feel like I'm ready for anything now.
And you mentioned on social media actually recently where you were saying the boom is back, like in
Yeah.
Irish wrestling, especially with the 10th anniversary show coming up with JD and Finn Balor coming over for that event. When you saw that announcement, what went through your head?
It's crazy, Corey, because I was actually at the merch stand at intermission, and I genuinely didn't know this announcement
Yeah,
was coming. I knew there was something big coming because I heard that we're doing a show in October in the stadium. It was like back-to-back stadiums. There's going to have to be something big.
yeah,
And me and the lads were, we were like, who could it be? Who could it be? Throwing out all these names. And I remember a few weeks before, I was like, could it be one of the lads from WWE? We just seen AJ Styles go over
yeah,
to Noah. But everyone was like, nah, they wouldn't let, signed WWE wrestlers go into an OTT show. So I was like, yeah, yeah. And then I was at the merch stand, I just hear this big, massive ovation. I was like, what was that? The show's
yeah.
stopped. What's going on? So I asked one of the fans what happened, and he was like, oh, JD McDonough and Finn Balor have been announced for the next show. And it was genuinely taken back. I couldn't believe it. I had to actually run out and look myself. I couldn't believe it. So, yeah, like that's just a mental opportunity, not only for myself, but everyone. Because you have two lads that are at the very highest level every single week coming back to a show that we're doing. It's just an opportunity for us. It's an opportunity for OTT to get his name out there more, bring a new set of eyeballs into the fan base, and a big opportunity for us, the young talent in Ireland, to learn whatever we can while they're here for the short amount of time. I don't know if I have time to get a training session in with them, but I'll be picking their brain and trying to take everything I can from them, because they're two lads that I idolise and want to emulate their success. So I'm looking forward to it.
And you've had a kind of a bit of a crazy 2024 in general. At the start of the year, you actually featured in the first ever local Rumble.
Yeah.
what was that experience like being involved in that match, being in the first time matchup in OTT? And I'm correct me if I'm wrong. First Rumble for yourself?
Yeah, it was first Rumble of that. I've been done battle royals, but there's nothing like what we done there in January. It was great experience. Like I grew up watching Royal Rumbles, and they were always my favorite match. So to go out there, and I think I lasted like 35 minutes or something. I got a decent run in it. So it was, yeah, like they're one of them matches that like it's just you go out there with no game plan in mind. It's just kind of you don't know what to expect, and it was one of them matches there again. Sorry, got something going on the TV.
No matters at all.
I'll have to change that. Sorry.
No matters at all.
Sorry about that, Corey.
No matters at all.
What
Man.
I was saying was that match again. The atmosphere was crazy. You know, you had the likes of Grado coming out, place blew off. Obviously when B-Kill won, another thing. But it was good to see. I've always wanted OTT to do something like that, and I hope in future it's something that we can make, you know, a regular thing. I think it's a good way to bring new people in, and the fact that we're coming up to January now in a few months now, so there could be another one around the corner.
Yeah.
If we have a successful show with the 10th anniversary, I feel like it's a great opportunity to get some new eyeballs in.
Yes.
Whoever's going to the show to see the Judgment Day, I was saying to the lads, you know, let's take advantage of this, and they might be going to see JD and Balor, but let's bring them back to see Liamo or Jay or whoever's on the show, Irish people, get them invested. And then you have the Rumble around the corner and ScrapperMania, and then you keep them invested through that. So, yeah, I'm all for Rumbles. I really enjoyed the last one. So I can't wait to see. I think we're going to do a bigger and better next time. That was just the first one. So who knows what's in store for the next one. I can't wait.
I'm sure it'll be a massive show. You mentioned him there, and you were in the ring for the celebration after, and obviously, unfortunately, Be Cool did have to vacate the OTT World Title. But what was it like to be in the ring for that celebration? Because you're watching someone who has very much been almost a cult hero to Irish wrestling fans over the last few years, with that long overarching story that he did have with Be Cool winning the title. What was that like for you to see that? And is that something that kind of inspires you to think, right, that could be me, like, easily?
Yeah. I 100%. Like, it's something I was thinking being on the stage. Like, it's like they're the moments you want to strive for. So, like, Be Cool, like that, it's a fairy tale ending to his career there, like, almost. It's kind of like a Daniel Bryan-esque moment for OTT, you know? It's like the fans' favourite finally getting it done. Unfortunately, he had to vacate the next day, but I think the moment, you can't beat that, you know. And I was delighted to be out there with all the lads, great group of lads out there. And I love B Kill. He's someone that helps me a lot with the promo aspect and characters. He's just such a good brain to pick for that. So it was almost surreal being out there and seeing it, finally doing it after, 15-year career. What a way to cement that. His legacy will be remembered forever now. And looking back on it, it's, again, more fuel to my fire to be like that. That could be me in a year or two's time. Who knows with the way things are going. So.
And speaking of possible like opportunities and so on coming on in the future, two lads who you've worked with as well, the Freshnets, they were over in London and in Cardiff this week for AEW, popping up. Popped the hell out of me seeing them there. What was that like to you to see two lads that you've worked close to with be on that stage? And is that something as well, like you mentioned earlier about bringing your gimmick abroad, bringing it like Martina has? Is that something that you are hoping to do possibly in 2025?
Yeah, like it was something I was actually only thinking about. Like we're only a Dublin show away, really. The WWE, like
Yeah.
See, they're doing shows everywhere now. There's no reason why they can't do one here. That
Mhm.
would be a great opportunity for all us lads to get involved in that. But with London doing the Wembley shows regularly, it is an opportunity for anyone from Ireland to try get over there. I think it's just a sense of just committing and going over and being
Yeah.
available. Unfortunately, I wasn't available to do, but I'm not saying it's something I wouldn't do in the future because it's a great opportunity. So I think it's something to look to in the next couple of months, get involved in something like that. I'd love to be, because like being backstage with some of the greatest at the moment, like why wouldn't you want to be a part of that? So
Yeah.
fair play to the lads. You know, they're some of the hardest workers, and they just get after it. They go out and they do it, and it's very inspiring in that sense. I think they're on the top of the game at that, just getting out there and just wherever they need to go, they go. They're all over the place at the minute. So I wasn't surprised that they got the opportunity. It's well deserved, and hopefully we get to see more people doing that type of stuff, because who knows what can come from it. You know, it's great to see.
And before I do let you go, one final question for you, Liamo. What is your biggest goal heading into the back end of 2024 and into the beginning of 2025 for your career right now? What's the immediate future goal for you?
Yeah, so I'm just gonna taking it show show by show at the minute. Like I started doing that last year. Was like um came back as a singles wrestler against Alex Grayson last August, and I took that. I was like prepared, the most I ever done up until then. Got in the best shape I could. Then I was like, right, how do I get onto the anniversary show? Got even better shape. Got everything down. Changed my music. Changed my gear. Done the anniversary show. I was like, right, how do I build on that? Done a feud with Amari, the Rumble. Then I was like, right, ScrapperMania, need to get on the ScrapperMania. Done the BDE feud. For ScrapperMania, I wanted to be like, right, I want to look the best I've ever looked. And then I was like, not expecting this show to roll around so quickly. It kind of took me by surprise. So 9 weeks out now, I'm just like laser. I've never been so motivated in my life. Like every day I wake up, it's just, I'm working towards that every single day. It's just trying to constantly like cut my calories to make, like I'm on a show with Finn Balor and JD McDonough. So if you thought I was ripped at the last show, wait till you see me at the next one, because trust me, like there's nothing getting in my head that will put me off what I'm doing at the minute. It's just laser focus every day to try look the best, be my best for that show, and I'm just looking towards that. I don't know what's coming. I'm hoping it's going to be something big. Whatever it is, I'm ready to just smash that out of the park, and then for the last couple of months of 2024. I just want to see it out and just like keep the ball rolling, because then I feel like I'm set up down for a massive 2025. Who knows what's around the corner? Never know when an opportunity can come. I'm just trying to stay ready. Try look my best, stay ready, stay in shape, and you never know what's going to come. So
And thank you so much for sitting down for this interview with me, Liamo. It's been great chatting to you. Do you want to tell people where they can find you on social media and where you'll be appearing next, or
yeah,
are we waiting for the 10th anniversary to see you next?
yeah, 100%. Liamo on Instagram, three underscores, and Lima underscore Yup at X. There's fire shows where we're actually doing a double show in Comic Con coming up on, it's not this weekend, it's the week
Yeah,
after.
yeah.
And then we have the Sheriff Street shows coming up. That was rescheduled. That was something I was looking forward to. It's a 2-day event as well.
Yes.
And so yeah, that's the September. And then obviously I think we're gonna have one more show maybe before the 10th year anniversary. I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
And then we're on to the anniversary. So a lot to look forward to, and can't wait to get involved.
Guys, make sure to go out and follow Liamo. He's definitely one of the most fun Irish stars on the scene right now, and I can't wait to see what he does in 2025. If you're new to Fightful Scraps, guys, leave a like, subscribe, and come back for more interviews. I'm sure there'll be more Irish scene interviews, UK interviews, and European interviews in general. And once again, Liamo, thanks for sitting down, and see you guys next time.
Thanks for having me.